Welcome to our video, our lesson. This time around we are looking at the equation of a straight line. So normally the equation of the straight line, it is an equation which is in a form of y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation of the straight line where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. When we talk about the y-intercept, we mean a point where the straight line crosses the y-axis. If you have this is our Cartesian x or y plane. We have the y-axis and the x. If a line passes like this, where it is crossing the y-axis there, it is known as the y-intercept. If it is passing like this, where it is crossing the y-axis, that's where we have the c. So the c is there, so this is what it means. Then m means the gradient. Now, this equation of the line, of a straight line, it may come in different ways. So therefore, there are different forms of an equation to find the equation of a straight line. So it may come in different forms. There is form number one is that the gradient point form. Point number two is the gradient intercept form. Then number three is the double intercept form. So let us start with number one. We see how a equation may come under the first one, which is the gradient point form. So let us see number one. So we are saying the gradient point form, that is number one, the form on how we can come up with the equation of a straight line. So if we have the gradient, this may come when you have been given the gradient of a line as well as, so you have been given the gradient as well as the one point, one coordinate or coordinates that lies on the line. Then the equation of the line is, if you have been given the gradient and you have also been given the 1 point, meaning x1 comma y1, you are going to use this formula where the x1 will be put there. If the x1 is 2, you are going to put your 2 there. The y1, you're going, if it's 5, you put it there. And the gradient given, you put it there, then you expand, you multiply there, you expand this, and now you group like terms together. That will be the equation of the straight line. Sometimes you may not be given the gradient. You may just be given two coordinates. This is what we have. We have 2 points. There's this point 1 where we have x1 comma y1. We also have x2 comma y2. Then the equation of the line that passes through these points is, this is y minus 1, which is the same as this one, is equal to, instead of just putting m, you have to find the gradient because the gradient has not been given. Remember, the gradient of 2 points is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you where there's m, you put the original formula of the gradient. If you don't mind, you can write your gradient somewhere. Then now you come up with this formula and finish it up. Otherwise, you can just do it. You can just do them at once. You put it, okay, in the same equation. You put your gradient, the formula for the gradient. Then you put also this. Then you find the final answer. So this is the way we go about this. Let's look at some sample some examples. Example number 1. The question is, find the equation of the straight line. A with the gradient or with a gradient of 3, and that passes through the point negative 3,6. So for number A, because we have been given the gradient and 1 point, so what we are going to do is that we are going to say y minus y1 is equal to m, which is the gradient, open bracket, x minus x1. Which one is our x1? Our x1 is negative 3. Our y1 is 6. What about the m? The m is the gradient of which we have been given as 3 or positive 3. Now we just substitute. So we are going to have this y will remain the same, y minus positive 6, which is equal to 3, open bracket, x minus negative 3. So you do like that. So it will be y, because y minus 6, we can't find the answer. The two are unlike terms, so we can't add them or we can't subtract. So the answer can be found, the answer is just the same. The answer is y minus 6. So we are going to have 3, open bracket, we have x. This one we have minus, again the negative there. So the answer is positive. So we are going to have 3 like this. So we'll continue by expanding now that 3 times everything in the bracket. So now it will be 3 times everything there. We are going to have y minus 6 is equal to 3x plus 9. Now we group like terms together. This 6 and this 9, they are like terms because both do not have the variables. So our working will continue from here, where we are going to have y will be 3x plus 9 plus 6. And what is 9 plus 6? The 6 has become plus because it was negative to the other side. So the additive inverse of negative 6 is positive 6. So therefore we are having our answer y is equal to 3x plus 15. 3x plus 15. So this is our answer. This is the equation of the straight line. So this 15 is the y-intercept. The c, this 3 is the gradient. So we are done question number 1. Let's go to question number B. Make sure you pause your video as you copy this question. You pause your video, then you finish copying. You listen, then we continue to the next equation. So question number 2. Question number 2, we have not been given the gradient. It says we are still finding the equation of the straight line that passes through the points. There's this point and this point there. So there's no gradient. So we are going to use the same formula, which we learned when there is no gradient. Minus y1 is equal to m, not m, but we have learned that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, open bracket, x minus x1. So it will depend which one will be our x1. Our x1, I will name it as this. These are our ones, these are our twos. So our x1 is 2, meaning these 2 here, meaning our x2 will be 4. Then our y1, it will be 4. Which 4? This 4 here. Then our y2 will be 5. Now we're going to substitute. So it will be y minus our x1 is 2 is equal to our y2 is 5. So 5 minus 4 over our x2 is 4. 4 minus 2. This is what I'm seeing because our x1 is 2. Then we open the bracket. We are going to say x minus x1, which is 2. x1, which is 2. Now, our y1 I've written 2 there. So it is not 2, but 4. Our y1 is supposed to be 4. Because this is our y1. This is our y1 which I've chosen. It depends with which coordinate you want to choose as your first and the other one to be your second. If you chose this one as your first, meaning our y1 would have been 5. So let's see how we can handle this one. So we continue, meaning our y minus 4 is equal to, this one is 1 over 2, because 5 minus 4, it's 1. And 4 minus 2, it is 2. We continue, this one it will be y minus 4 is equal to, we expand this. If you multiply 1 over 2 times x, it will be 1 over 2 and x. 1 over 2 times this, the answer will be negative 1. Because 1 times 2, it will be 2. 2 into 2, it will go 1. This is what I've written here. Now group like terms together, meaning this and this are like terms. So we are going to have, let me bring it there. So we have y is equal to 1 over 2 x minus 1 plus 4. So it will be y is equal to 1 over 2 x then plus 3, because negative 1 plus 4, the answer is positive 3. So that marks the end to our question. Let us now go to the question number C. Make sure you pause the video as you copy question number B. Now we are going to question number C. Now question number C reads, we are still finding the equation of the straight line that passes through the point. There's this point and the origin. It passes through the point, this point and the origin. So what we should know is that the origin, it means where the y-axis and the x-axis crosses each other, meaning at the point, at the origin there. Always the coordinate of the origin is 0, 0. So the y is 0, the x is 0. Are we together? I hope the answer has been, you have heard. So this is the meaning of the origin. So this means that the coordinate of y is 0 and also the coordinate of x is 0. In the other way around, the y-intercept is 0. What is the gradient? We are going to find the gradient. So, which formula are we going to use? We are going to use the second formula. The second formula, the one we used for B, because we have two coordinates now. There's this coordinate and this one which we have come up with. So let us see how we can work out this one. So this is the same formula we are going to use. It will depend with which one we want to make our ones. So this one, I'll call it our x1, meaning this one will be our y1. This one you are quite our x2, this one will be our y2. So now I will substitute. So it will be y minus 0 is equal to y2 is 5 minus 0 over negative 10 minus 0. Then you say in the bracket x minus our x1 is 0. Then now we continue. So this one automatically the answer will just remain as y is equal to, this one will be 5 over negative 10 open bracket x. This is what we have, because anything minus 0 is the same thing. So this one will continue by saying y is equal to, now look at this 5 and the negative 10, they have got a common factor which is 5. 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 10, it goes 2. So it will be negative 2 and x. So therefore, our final answer will be negative 1 over 2x. Negative 1 over 2x. Remember, you can put even the y-intercept, which is 0. So if you just leave it, there is no problem. This one is our final answer. So this one is the equation of the straight line. Your marker will know to say, oh, then the gradient for this equation was 0. The gradient for this equation is, not the gradient by the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. The gradient is 1 or negative 1 over 2. So this marks the end to our question. Someone may ask, why have I put the negative on 1 instead of putting it on 2? Normally, the normal way of putting it, it is to put it where we have 2 and 1, or 1 and 2. Okay, so this is the way it's supposed to be put. Otherwise, there's no harm if you put it on 2, or if you put it on 1 on top there, there's no problem. Others may say the same equation may be written as y is equal to negative x over 2. It will still make sense, because that x, there's the negative 1 as a coefficient. Otherwise, we end here. Thank you so much.